technical difficulties there. Hopefully they do not persist. But hello. Welcome to the stream. We're doing something a little different today. The long-awaited painting stream. I hope that this video works out. I am excited about using this camera for this particular purpose, just because this is really a big part of what I got it for. So I'm, probably going to be messing around with it a little bit over the course of the stream, but yeah, hopefully it works pretty well. I'm going to be painting this model today, a human wizard. She's actually near and dear to my heart because she is my current D&D OC. Her name is Edwina. We love her very much. And yeah, I'm excited to get her painted. I sculpted her. I actually used the cat model that I sculpted in on stream last week, and so yeah, I added that model, or that cat, last week to this wizard model, and yeah, I'm excited to hopefully get her painted up this afternoon and get her on the table for this evening. So let's get a move on here. Gonna mostly be using speed paint today. I put some really fun textures on her like wizard robes and everything. So I'm excited to hopefully have those kind of come out once I get some paint on her. Yeah, I'm trying to decide like what's best for the lighting. I feel like the autofocus is working like pretty well, but yeah, anyone who hops in, just let me know and we can potentially troubleshoot some stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get started here. I have been playing this game, this D&D game, since lockdown, and so I've spent a long time with this character, and she's actually had a couple of minis, actually just the one mini. This is the second iteration of her mini that I've made, but she started off as actually a Skyrim character, and we kind of went from there. Let's see, I'm gonna get my light turned on again here. Hopefully it won't blow it out too much, but I do need some additional light for myself, for my own eyeballs. Yeah, there we go, that's better. I have my little like ring light here with the magnifying glass on it, and it does add a good amount of light for me to see, but I don't really want that image to get super blown out on the stream. So, it's all a learning experience here on the Ella's Arcanum live stream, but we're figuring it out one little step at a time here. I am using a speed paint currently, and it's kind of one of the older ones, so it works pretty well. I'm trying to get through all of these older speed paints before I buy too many new ones, but the speed paints that I have bought so far, like the 2.0 Army Painter speed paints, are really great, and I am having to exercise a lot of self-control, not just completely replacing all of the paint I currently have. because anyone who does mini painting in really any capacity will tell you that, you know, make sure you like the colors you buy, because once you have them, you pretty much have them for life. They don't really... At least if you're painting D&D minis, and I paint a lot of D&D minis. Like, I paint a lot of minis. I use a lot of paint, and I have yet to completely finish and go through even one full bottle of paint in my life. So I'm just gonna move the camera around here, trying to strike a balance between what looks good on the screen and what I can see and ergonomically hold. I think this seems good, but again, anyone who's watching, who pops in, just let me know and we can troubleshoot. This whole putting together live streaming is just such an experimentation process and learning experience. Half of my streams so far have just been me talking away for the first 20 minutes or so until someone hops in and goes, "Hey, no sound." And I'll be like, "Oh, I never unmuted my audio." And actually, just now while I'm saying that, I'm looking at my audio being "Is it on?" It is. Hopefully that means you can hear me, because I've also been kind of battling this mic, honestly. So, you know, we do our best. I'm kind of just butchering this leg here, trying to get paint on the inside of this robe. Which is why we do that part first. And then the other thing I love about speed paints is they're so easy to change if you decide you don't like it. You just put more water on it and wipe it away, and then it's like it never happened. I definitely could have printed this cat out separately and just glued her on at the end. And maybe I should have done that, but I didn't. The cat is my wizard's familiar. His name is Jazargo. And he's made fewer appearances recently. Just because he keeps dying. We've been in the Underdark for our campaign lately, and the Underdark is a tough place for a little guy with 2 hit points. And so he keeps dying, and I just have other things to use that spell slot for, so I haven't really been summoning him back with much regularity. But we still love him, and he's still an integral part of Edwina's backstory, so we keep him. The other thing about speed paints is you really gotta be careful with finer details about not just glomming them on. It's all about balance, but I really like how this texture is coming out and getting filled in by the pigment in the speed paint. So, going great so far. I definitely put too much paint on my palette, but oh well. I'm kind of just gonna go based on vibes. I have not decided yet how much effort I want to put into painting this mini, because think the biggest parts of it are going to be just like the speed paints bringing out the textures that I put on. And in that case, you know, the speed paints are really going to do most of the heavy lifting. But I do think that I'm going to put a fair amount of work into, like, you know, getting the details on her spellbook and this cloak here. So, you know, I think it'll be kind of a mix of styles throughout this model. Okay, the green is looking really good. I was really excited about getting paint on that, so I'm glad that that is looking as I envisioned it. Just gonna get the other little piece of her chest here. Okay. Lovely. Ah, that looks so good already. I love how it settled into the fabric folds on the back here. Really cool. I also really like how this pose turned out. I used Character Creator for the pose, and I think it looks really good. I still feel like this picture is looking just a little bit washed out, or a little bit blown out, I mean. That's better. I think that's the lowest setting that my light will go on, so we're just gonna keep it at that for now. Okay, let me decide what paint color I want to use for her, like, hood and cloak. One second here. Hold on just a sec. I am doing a little bit of just technical witchcraft here. Okay. Let's see here. I think for her, I really want to get the color of the cloak right, and I want it to, I can't decide if I want it to be brown so that it is like in contrast with the green. Let me just pull up a picture here, because when I made the model, I rendered it in color. I think I am gonna make it like a really dark brown though. I want to keep her with like pretty, like, natural earthy colors. So I'm just looking for my brown that I really like. Here it is. Dark wood. The other thing about speed paints is all of them look just like the same dark color when you have them on the palette next to one another. But so you kind of just have to remember where you put each thing. Alright, we'll start on the back in case I don't like it. But I think it's going to be good. Yeah, I like that pretty well. one thing that I've been trying to work on with my models, paint-wise, is making them less dark. I feel like one thing I do is when I'm painting, I paint under such bright light that the model looks a lot lighter and brighter than when I just take it out in regular ambient light, so like at the table or like on my display shelf. A lot of times my models, after I painted them, will just end up looking dark, and I'll take them out from under my super bright ring light and be like, oh, that's pretty dark. But like when I photograph them, they still look pretty good because I photograph stuff under like pretty bright lights. So I'm gonna try, since this model is gonna be one that is like on my table every time we play, I'm gonna try to have it be nice and bright and not too muted. So I'm gonna go like this. I think is gonna be the darkest shade of brown that I use. And what I like to do, because I am as lazy of a painter as they come, is I will go in with the speed paints, and then when it dries, I'll just go in with another lighter color and I'll just do a little bit of highlighting, and then I will call it good. And that's for most models. If I'm trying to do something that's like higher effort, I will do more than that. I've been on kind of a painting journey though, the last year or so. In like August or September, in the fall, I did a little Kickstarter project called Ella's Tavern. She's got some more sleeve there than I missed. And that one was like a showpiece, like a big diorama model. And that one I really wanted to like up my painting skills because there were so few models in that project, because it was really kind of like a spotlight, like smaller collection, smaller release. And so I was like, okay, if I'm just gonna be putting out this like one showpiece and only a handful of minis along with it, like I really need to be able to like make photos that really like shine. And so I was like, okay, it's probably time to like up my painting skill. So I invested in some nicer brushes, my first like natural hair brushes, which is not what I'm using right now, because I don't use my fancy nice ones for speed paints. I just have this Army Painter starter brush that I use for speed paints most of the time. And then I bought a couple of fancier ones. The one that I get the most use out of is just this like size 0, what brand even did I end up with? Maestro, Da Vinci Maestro. And I bought 3 of these natural like sable brushes, and I bought a size 0, a size 1, what is this little one? 3/0, 3/0, I don't know how you say that. And I really thought that this tiny one was going to be the one I got the most use out of, but I almost never use it. I almost always, even for the finest of details, use this bigger one, the 0. That's what I use most of the time. Okay. But anyways, yeah, so then I watched a bunch of videos and learned all about how to do like highlighting and like paint skin of like with like different amounts of like highlighting and emphasis on different areas. which is funny. I was like, how to paint different skin tones, and it was all like how to paint like darker skin and everything, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna use this new knowledge I've acquired to paint purple tieflings. And that just seemed like the right move, and I stand by it. I really got this green all over the model here. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do a brighter brown for her little vest here. I have warrior skin, and this is one of the new speed paints. And I like this one. It's kind of, it's a mid brown, but it doesn't have a lot of like red in it. And then for her book bag, I'll probably use Bony Matter. Which is funny, I have two kind of tan beige speed paints. I have Bony Matter and I have Pallid Bone. And they are such different colors. And one of them makes for like a very good canvas-y type situation. Okay, yeah, I think this is gonna be good for her little vest here. And this vest does have its own little texture on it. We'll see if that comes out here. Usually when I put textures on things, I try my very best to make it so that they will be apparent on the print. Because I'm such a big fan of speed paints, but sometimes it turns out that actually it was just for me. That I know it's there, and that's what matters. Oh, I really did not get this nice and smooth. Alright, that's alright, I think. Okay. I like these two browns. I feel like they are similar in tone to one another, but just like different shades. I feel like they really go together nicely. I'm mad that I kind of messed up that little spot. It looks kind of splotchy, but oh well. We carry on. I worked just a little too slowly. This is one of the new speed paints. I really like that they expanded their like flesh tones selection of the speed paints in this like revamp. Wow, I'm messing it up even more. Let's see if I can do a little bit of a reset here. Nope, I made it worse. Alright. If you glom enough on, it'll be okay. Okay. I think I might do her little belt and component pouches in this dark brown again. But I'm gonna let this vest part dry first. So I'm gonna go in with I'm gonna go in with this Bony Matter, I think. put a little bit each. I'm going to put a little bit of bony matter and a little bit of pallid bone on my palette. And I'm going to make a decision after I've looked at them both. Because I want this bag to kind of look like kind of your average, like, canvas bag. Kind of like a lighter color. I think I'm going to go with pallid bone, honestly. It's kind of got more of that yellow in it that I want. Bony matter is just, it's so much more of a dull color, I feel. And I just have not, I bought it like in November, and I just have not gotten a ton of use out of it. Just because I feel like it's just this dull beige. I don't know. It's probably good for like rocks or something, but I have not gotten a ton of use out of it. Maybe I'll use it for these scrolls. I gave her so many little trinkets and accessories. That's what I love about wizards. They're really just more is more type of adventurers. And we love that for them. That went on really nicely. A win for me. I don't like how this kind of got splotched over from the cape though. See if we can fix that up. There. Okay. Man, I really am bummed that I messed up this little chunk of her vest. I'm gonna see if I can just... The problem with speed paints is that if you're not careful in putting a second coat on, you can reactivate the coat that's underneath. So if you're trying to go back in and do touch-ups, you really just have to kind of dab it on as opposed to like spreading it. You really have to get a feel for these speed paints, because if you do it right, they're great. And I have no complaints, and I love using them. And if you do it wrong, they're gonna look bad. They're kind of interesting in that way. A little deceptive. Okay. I think I'm gonna use this darker brown for her shoes as well. Oh, I love how this model turned out. I love Edwina. She's such a great character. We're fighting in a boss battle tonight, and I really hope she doesn't die. Because that would make me sad. And also, I would have painted this mini for nothing. It would be less of a useful model for the table and more of an homage to her memory. But she's very smart and very brave, so I bet she won't die. I bet we'll figure out something. We've been doing this dungeon crawl through this dungeon in the Underdark, and last week we finally got to the big bad at the end, and it turned out to be an aboleth in a big underground lake. And it was like kind of late by the time we got in there, and the scene started, the like water started to churn, and we got our first sight of the beastie, and then we were like, I don't know if we want to do this whole fight tonight because it was kind of late. So we were like, okay, we'll press pause and we can all sit and meditate on how we want to try to fight this thing next time. So, which was also fun because it gave me a chance to actually 3D print the monsters, because like we knew now what they are gonna be. So I printed them, and then so we've just had some time to really sit and shake in our boots. Okay, there's still like a few little supports here that need removing. Not sure where my snippers ended up though. Need is my X-Acto knife, but I only have one of those, and it recently got relegated to the resin shed, and once something's in the resin shed, it kind of is there forever. So I need a new X-Acto knife. There's just these little tiny supports in here. If it wasn't going to be a pain to paint around them, I wouldn't really bother to take them off because you can't really see them. And it's honestly debatable whether I even needed to put them here in the first place. But they're here now. So, for better or worse, I will be removing them. One of the 1001 ways in which I am a lazy artist is when I test print things, which is everything. I test print all of my models, and when I do that, I tend to be kind of lazy about removing supports. And I shouldn't be, because everything I paint, I take photos of and put online in my little store. Go follow me on Colts. That's my plug for myself. Hello, it's me, Natalie. L's Arcanum Minis. And so, you know, considering everything I paint is to go online and like try to help me sell my stuff, you would think, oh, Natalie, wouldn't you want to be like really meticulous about like stuff like support removal and like post-processing? No. I'm lazy. I don't always remove all my supports. If I don't think they're gonna be in the picture, I just leave them. And more these days, I'm really trying to avoid putting these little teeny tiny supports on my pre-supported models because they're such a pain to get rid of. But again, this is not a model that I'm going to be selling. This one's just for me. So I was lazy. But most of the time I really try to avoid putting these little tiny supports on because they're I hate removing them, and I'm sure if I hate removing them, most people probably hate removing them. I have no evidence to back that up, but other than that, I think it's a pain. Okay. There we go. Here we are. Got all those little tiny supports off. Okay, back to painting. I get her little tiny shoe in there. Again, I probably should have printed this cat separately. I haven't really dipped my toes into putting pets or familiars on models before. This is the first one I've done it with, and it's fun. It's definitely fun to have a little guy, but definitely a good test case for future ones. I will for sure, if I ever do something like this again, offer them separated, because this is a little bit annoying. Okay. Also gonna go up here now and do her little satchels. I'm really glad that these two browns look nice together. They don't clash. Do her little belt. Right in there. This paintbrush is a little bit of a blunt object for doing these little minis, but honestly, for speed paints, they flow so easily, and I just don't want them to get up into the base of my nice sable brushes. So I use a trash brush for my speed paints. Little chunk of green that I missed here. Alright. That looks pretty good. The brown on her little vest dried down pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how that looked, even though I kind of messed it up. Okay, I think that for her pants, I might actually, I know I said that the dark brown was as dark as I was gonna go, but I lied, because I just really want her pants to not even be something that you think about when you look at the model. So I'm gonna mix two speed paints together. When I was painting last night and I went to go put some of this Grim Black speed paint on my palette, the dropper top came off with the lid, and that sucked. I basically poured out an entire half a bottle of the paint onto my palette, and I was really sad. Luckily it didn't mix with anything, so I was able to take a little dropper and actually suction most of it back up and get it back into the bottle. So that was good. That it wasn't as big of an L as it could have been, but it was such an instant like regret. Not entirely sure there was anything I could have done to prevent it, but okay, yeah. So it's just like a little half a shade darker. Get it in there. I did sculpt a few little fabric folds onto her pants. So that'll look nice, I think. They're just so not the focal point, so I didn't really care to put much on them. I think there's a little bit green right there that I missed though, so I can go back and touch that up. This is turning into a very green and brown model, but there are some little details on here that I will go back in later. Once I've gotten paint on the whole model and I'm starting to do more details and liven up the color scheme a little bit. Part of me kind of wonders if this stream might be a little more fun if I had something pointing toward my face, but I'm not entirely sure how I would execute that, because I only have the one camera. Something to think on, maybe. Maybe I could hook something up with my old GoPro or something. I don't know. That seems like a huge pain, though. Okay, got that. I'm gonna touch up this little bit of green here. Bloop. Alright. Let's see. Gonna do probably gray for her little shoelaces here. The little bows, which I think is cute. And I might actually just use regular paint for the little tiny shoelaces, because those are little. I don't think the speed paint would really do me many favors on details that are that small. So we'll go back in and do those later, but oh, can I get to these other shoelaces? Kind of. The thing is, though, if you can't get to it with your paintbrush, is it actually visible in a meaningful way? No. So does it really matter if you paint it? Probably no. Okay. Let's see. I wish I had a little bit more. Oh, I do. Ask and you shall receive, Natalie. AKA, know what color of paints you have. This is one of the old speed paints, and I've never really liked it all that much. I bought it because I wanted like a little bit more of like a yellow green, like something that was a little bit more of like a sagey color, and it just does not mix all that well, like all that nicely. It's fine. I might try to mix it up with this other green here. Just to soften it up a little bit. Yeah, I honestly like that a lot more. A little more of a lime green. Sure, you take those. Yeah, whatever. I like her little socks. I was like, she needs one more thing. And then I was like, socks. You know? I'm gonna wait till the other speed paints around that dry before I do the other one though. Okay, what to do with her sleeves? Part of me wants to also make them tan, but I'm not entirely sure. I want them to be like a really light beige, almost like they're white, but you know, I never want to make them any actually white, because that's boring. I'm gonna do, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I bought this. I bought white speed paint. And it's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I put it on, I'm always like, is this gonna be what I want it to be? But it actually dries down pretty nicely. I don't know, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's like, what do you use the white crayon for? You know? But, and I just want it to be like the littlest bit off-white. I'm probably being a little fussier than I need to be, but it's Edwina. We do it for love. Okay, we're gonna try this. Oh, that's perfect. That's literally exactly what I wanted. Just have it go on really light. I'm envisioning it just being like a little long sleeve t-shirt situation, you know? So I don't really want it to be green, because her robes are green, and I feel like all over green is gonna be kind of a boring monochrome situation. Oh, that looks great. I'm so glad I never doubted. Nice, nice. Alright, at some point I'm gonna have to get to her skin here. Not right now, though. Okay, I'm gonna use this color for these little scrolls. They're gonna be kind of like a yellowed with age type of situation. I'll probably use the same color for her book. Sometimes also with these speed paints, the pigment like kind of settles on your palette. You have to like stir it up just a little bit. It's a little odd. Okay. I'll put a little bit more on there. It goes on so thin. And I know it's like a light color, so it doesn't have like a ton of pigment in it, but like I want it to, you know, be visible. Okay. And then, yeah, I'll use the same color. I'm excited for this book also because you definitely can't see it right now because, well, you can maybe see it a little bit. But there are little like drawings in here, little like sigils. I'm excited for those to come out. Once I've got the paint on here, this is her spell book. Edwina has a one of those spell books that can like get wet or burnt up and it doesn't get destroyed, which is great and very relevant for the fight that we're about to go into because it is gonna be on / potentially in a lake. So very glad that her spellbook getting destroyed is not necessarily on the table for that. Okay, that looks really good. That like parchmenty look. Okay, now I gotta contend with her skin. I think it's about time. I did miss another little bit of green right here though. She's got like a little collar situation on her robe. It's so small right in there. There we go. Okay. This image just looks kind of blown out. Let's see if I can fix it on my camera settings here. better. I don't know. I don't know. If someone was here watching, they could tell me, but. Alright, let's see. I'm making headway, I'm making progress here. I need to decide what my plan of action is going to be for her skin. Part of me wants to do Crusader skin, but I feel like that's going to be too tan. My girl lives in the library. So, I might actually do... a really thin layer of Fanatics paint and then a flesh wash. My first non-speed paint on this model. Crazy. Thin it here just a little bit. Because I'm gonna try to have it go on pretty thin. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Start on the hand. Okay. This is looking pretty similar to the color that I put on her sleeves, but I promise it'll look better once I get the flesh wash on. Laying a base. The hand. Trying to decide what color I want to make her spell book. I'm kind of thinking like maybe like a deep blue, but I could also go for like a purple. Ooh, yeah, maybe I'll do purple. Like a really like arcane lightning bolt type color for the spell book. I feel like that would be really good. Alright, I hope this goes on nicely on her face. I'm a little nervous. Oh, there's a dog hair on my paintbrush. Alright. She also has a circlet of intellect that she got a while back. need to decide what color to make the little, put a little gemstone on the top of that. I'll probably also make that purple, honestly. And I think I'll probably make her hair like some sort of auburn shade, probably. This little bit of chest here. Alright. Still super pale, but you know, I'll probably do another layer here, and then I'll do the wash. These fingers are another part where I was a little lazy with support removal. But I just don't want to snap any of them off, you know? Watch me do that live on stream. Just snip off her little finger. Okay. I'm gonna choose to be a coward and just leave this little defect on here. It'll be fine. Alright, another little layer under here. Okay. And then on the face. Again, my girl lives at the library. Little fair-skinned, hails from Neverwinter. Just has not spent a lot of time in the sun in her days of adventuring. So we keep her pretty fair. Trying to have this go on somewhat evenly. I think that's looking good. A lot of our problems are going to be solved when we do the wash, so patience. Patience is key. Do another little half a layer on the hand. Oh, and I forgot to do her second sock. Let's go do that real quick before I forget. Wonderful. Oh, I actually really like that. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. All right. Flesh wash time. I have to pull it out here. So we give her very fair undertones, and then the wash will kind of bring out the details of the face And the fingies. And we're coming up on about an hour and a half here. So I think once I get this wash on, I might go run and take a short little break, refresh my water. Oh my god. Nice. I like how that looks. Just kind of brings out the little details on the hand. She's got a little ring too that I gave her. Who knows what color I'll decide on for that? Only time will tell. There we go. We glommed that on a little bit too much here. Very good. I might do another little layer or two of this kind of brownish color I mixed up for her sleeves, just so that they don't look like they're exactly the same color as the skin. Darken them up just a scotch here. We're really going Chaos Queen on some of these colors. Okay. And then I think for her hair, I'm going to do this burnished red color. Give her kind of an auburn look. Let me just put a little on my paper towel here and see if I like this. Yeah, I think so. We're gonna give it a go. Again, start in the back, just in case we don't like it. I do like it. It's a little bit redheady. But we can maybe temper it with a wash here. Oh, and I forgot that that was the circlet and not the braid. It's okay, I can go over it with white. We're out here making choices. is quite red. Again, I think we can temper it a little bit. What if I put some of this over top? Because she's not a ginger. She does have brown hair. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna like that better. It's got depth. It's got depth and richness to the tones. It's definitely not that I didn't like what I did at first. The circlet I did get paint on top of, but I will go back over with metallic, and that's opaque, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Let's see here. I might do just a little bit more actually paint on top of the back strap of this book bag. Just because I didn't actually put a ton of like zenithal shading on her back because I feel like that was not really the focal point. So it doesn't matter a ton. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna quick go refresh my water and take a little break, let my puppy dog out, and I will be back in a few minutes and we'll start doing some of the details and get to work on the little kitty cat. And yeah, I will be right back in a few minutes. Alright, we back. Just a little break. It's starting to get a little later in the day, but I'm gonna get as much of this painted as I can. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all the little details, but we're gonna do what we can. I'm gonna put a little bit of white over where I got speed paint on her little circlet. Try not to make it too thick, but I am gonna try to at least cover up some of this pigment that I got on here. Again, it's not gonna make a huge amount of difference because the metallic paint will be opaque. But you know, I'm gonna try to do a little bit of damage control here. Happy accidents and all that. That looks all right. some more color on her little spell book here. Feeling a little apprehensive about what color that's gonna end up being, but you know what? No fear. I think I might go for this nice deep purple. It's not super deep. It's called Alien Purple. And it is one of the new fanatics from Army Painter. So it goes on pretty nicely. We're gonna see how this looks. Potentially might put a little bit of a pearly sheen on it over top. Maybe a little bit of like a red wash. Just make it a little bit more of like a royal purple. Not quite sure, but I will definitely be putting some gold on these little corner accents. Potentially a little more watered down than it needed to be, but better too little than not enough, I suppose. Trying to get in between her little fingers there. I think I accomplished it. On the little edges here. Just trying to leave as little white as possible. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back in with a wash after this because it's like the second darkest purple on this little purple scale, but it's still kind of a lavender still, I feel. Get it on the bottom. I put very, very little counter shading on the bottom of this book, but since we're not using the speed paint, it might turn out kind of light. Oh, I just love how these Fanatic paints go on. So smooth. The old formulation just the new one is just such a big improvement. And we love that. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna make this little book on the side here. I don't know, maybe like a red orange? This slaughter red, that could be good. She is a fire mage. So, I'll do a little dab of orange and a little dab of red. It's a little book, but there's enough room for some creativity here. think. Just a little bit of each. Just a little bit of orange. And a little bit of red. I like that. It's a good little pop of color. Little pop of fire. Put another little dab of pigment here on this scroll. I don't know about this bony matter. It's not my favorite. It just does not really, doesn't really make much of an impression, I feel. Okay. I think this matte white dried down pretty well. I might go in with the metallic now on the circlet. Shining silver. Seems fitting. Do I want to do silver or gold? I can't decide. You know what? I'm gonna put some gold on the corners of this book, and then I'll decide if I want this circlet to be silver or gold. I was planning on silver, but I don't know if the two different metallics would clash or look nice. Oh, that came up kind of fast. Fun fact, my high school colors were purple and green, and they're perfectly nice colors together, but I really struggle to put purple and green together without it being like, oh, go Warriors. They are perfectly nice colors, though. Kind of silly. Every time I'm like, ooh, this is green. What color should I put with it? My first thought is always red, but then I was like, Christmas? And purple's always just the last color that I think of, but they do look nice together. I feel like the other association people have with purple and green is just like Barney. Yeah, this purple's looking awfully lavender, so I might hit it with a little bit of a wash. Let's see if I can get that vibe a little more dark and moody. But I'm gonna get the color on these little corners here first. And I feel like this outside edge could use a little bit more purple too. book's looking pretty good. I like the gold. I might put some more gold on her little brooch here. That looks nice. Little pop of metallic. And then I might put a little bit more just on her little sleeve end there, just to make it look a little bit more finished. Yeah, I definitely don't think I'm going to finish this model today. But she's more painted than she was an hour and a half ago. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah, I think her circlet's going to be gold. A little bit more on her sleeve under here. Or, I don't know. I can't decide. I can't decide. Where did I make it when I did her little render here? I made it kind of like a warm silver. So maybe I'll split the difference. Maybe I'll mix a little bit of this shining silver in with a little bit of this gold. And we'll do just kind of like a halfway. How's that for committing? I don't have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Sure, let's try that. I don't think I can really go wrong here. I think either way it'll look good. Or alternatively, it just won't pop at all. We'll just see. Might just not be getting enough on my brush here. Yeah, I like this. It's kind of subtle. It's a little bit more subtle than either of the other, than either a plain silver or a plain gold. Which, I don't know, I kind of like. Looks like I got a little bit on her forehead. gonna have to do a couple of passes with this. Okay. Ooh, I like that. I feel like it's very pretty and not too much in either direction. Because, you know, that's what wizards are known for, being subtle and understated. Put a little bit of paint on these little tendrils around her face. They're really subtle, but they're gonna look bad if I don't get anything on them. Just gonna try not to get it on her skin too much. Okay. And then I think for this ring, might do red. I don't really have a great idea of what this ring actually is, but she needed a little bit of something jewelry-wise, so I just put a big old ring on her finger. It's probably magic. I don't know. Who can say? I'm sure Edwina knows. Boop. Okay. And then I'll do a little bit more of this. It's like an antique brass color. Let's do a little dot of it for the band. There. Alright, and I'm gonna do one more layer of purple for the book, and then I will put a little wash on it. Because, yeah, I don't want it to be lavender. So I think having just a little bit of pigment over top of it to kind of darken it up is going to be the move. And then after I do that, I think it's getting about time to hop off and go start getting stuff together for playing tonight. I think I'm gonna do I kind of want to do my heart says strong tone, which is kind of like a dark brown kind of vibe, but also this purple tone. I don't know. Start with this. Oh, that might be fun. That could be fun. Give it a shot here. I don't know how nicely this is going to go on, though. It's like not sticking to the model. Weird. Absolutely bizarre. It's like beating up and running off of it. Huh. It's literally the exact opposite of what a wash is supposed to do. It's so weird. I do like the color, but it's weird how it's going on. Maybe if I thin it out a little bit? That's very odd. I do like the look of this, though. Yeah, this is so strange. The way that this is going on. Of course, I fucking got some too. Okay, I like that more, though. Just kind of like adds a little bit more depth to that lavender color. I might actually add some flesh wash over top of these pages. Let's see. I'm trying to remember which one it is. I think it's this one. Yeah. I'm not gonna try to like paint, like make all of the like written details on the pages a different color, just because I think that would get splotchy and not look very good. Like they're pretty little and fine. So I think anything I can do to just kind of like bring the textures out a little more is gonna be the move. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, well, we got paint on the whole wizard, and I feel pretty good about that. I have not started on the cat yet, and I did not get to any of the details, but I need the camera to focus on her a little bit better. Yeah, she's still a work in progress, but I think she's looking pretty good. But I am gonna sign off now, so I can go take care of some chores before it's time to play. Thank you to anyone who stuck around and hung out. I appreciate you. Hope you had a nice time. I had a nice time. This was lovely and very relaxing. And I'm gonna head out. All right. Good night.